We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Hi, welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Thursday, November 14th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay, and I'm Tori. Brandon, glad you're back.
Thank you.
Brandon.
You were so welcoming with that hi just now.
Hi. What's up, guys?
I was back yesterday, too, though.
Oh, and I was also happy for you then.
Okay, thank you.
All right, here we go. Everywhere you looked, the impeachment took over the nation's airwaves, and there was one new bombshell that Democrats are talking about regarding a phone call between the president and EU diplomat Gordon Sondland. So let's watch and talk about it after.
Following the call with President Trump, the member of my staff asked Ambassador Sondland what President Trump thought about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden, which Giuliani was pressing for.
The president told reporters he knows nothing about that phone call, but he also had this to say about the hearings themselves.
I did not watch it. I'm too busy to watch it. It's a witch hunt. It's a hoax. I see they're using lawyers that are television lawyers. They took some guys off television. You know, I'm not surprised to see it because Schiff can't do his own questions.
He didn't watch. You better believe Late Night had a lot to say about yesterday's historic hearing, so let's take a look.
It's what we've been praying for since the beginning of the Trump presidency. The end of the Trump presidency.
Democrats brought in a lawyer to conduct questioning at today's impeachment hearing who previously prosecuted the mafia, financial crimes, and insider trading. Said President Trump, I knew that guy from somewhere.
President Trump claims he did not watch the televised impeachment hearings, that he didn't watch. Yeah, when asked what he was doing, Trump said, I was cleaning out my desk.
Man. Sorry. There were also some unlikely standouts from yesterday's hearings that you might have missed.
Was it me?
It wasn't you, Al. It was this drag queen named Pissy Miles who showed up to cover the hearing for a news app. A lot of people were commenting not only on diplomat George Kent's bow tie, but also his giant 48-ounce water bottle, saying he's saving democracy one gulp at a time.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing to go through, so I understand that. I mean, some of that is all joking aside. Is it weird that he didn't watch? Trump didn't watch his own impeachment?
I would say that might be interesting since he says he's watched a lot of other shows that were like when they were hate attacking him.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's interesting that he.
Are we going to act like he didn't watch?
Yeah, because he was tweeting about it constantly.
He talks about he watches Dancing with the Stars.
I know, but maybe he didn't
watch this.
Well, would you watch? You'd watch your own impeachment?
You have to get a good defense.
Would I watch my own impeachment?
Of course.
Yes. No. What else are you going to be?
You're the president of the United
Brandon
States.
is able to compartmentalize in a way that I cannot. Brandon will just be at the bar. I'm being impeached right now. What do you guys want? Who wants cheese fries? Cheese fries.
What was it? Subpoena coladas?
If his stance is that none of these people testifying ever had direct contact with him, and he's like thinks this is irrelevant and knows that's not going over in the Senate,
Lindsay,
why is he entertaining it? He doesn't have to.
First of all, it's your own impeachment, and you should. And second of all, he was tweeting about it constantly. You don't think he was watching?
I mean, he should do a lot of things, but that's not for us to decide. He's the president.
That's true. All right, let us know what you guys think and if you watched as well. Now, there is a late entry in the crowded field of Democrats running for president. Deval Patrick, the former governor of Massachusetts, officially announced he's running in this video he posted on his site. He was also on CBS this morning talking about why he's the right choice for president.
But we seem to be migrating to, on the one camp, sort of nostalgia. Let's just get rid, if you will, of the incumbent president, and we can go back to doing what we used to do. Or, it's our way, our big idea, or no way. And neither of those, it seems to me, seizes the moment to pull the nation together and bring some humility that, frankly, we have a lot of ideas, but no one candidate, no one party.
Are we a little late here?
Look, he has a long history of fighting for civil rights. He was an assistant attorney general in the 90s. He had 2 terms as a governor. And so he had a rock star speech in 2012 at the DNC where a lot of people said maybe he was the next Obama. I just think so much time passed since he was governor that it's kind of like a weird late entry. But if he had that same passion, we talk about a lot of the candidates not being able to go up against Trump. If he brings that same passion, we'll see. But I don't know if he has the money and the war chest available to kind of fight this thing through. He has no traction in Iowa. So So it's going to be.
Well, he consulted with Obama before he made his announcement. But one thing I love about him is how he says we need to reach the best America. And he's talking about how he grew up on welfare. He ended up going to law school and became governor of the United States. So if we're talking about the American dream, I think that's a bipartisan thing where people growing up on both sides wants to live that and reach that. So I imagine him to come out with policy after policy right now to try and catch back up. Because like you said a couple weeks ago, there's no rock stars on this campaign trail when it comes to Democrats.
I mean, I just wondered, like, when we say the American dream, how can you do that in dang near 2020 now?
Yeah.
In terms of, like, we say, I came from welfare and made it. I think now we're actively trying to cut welfare.
Where
people are buried in student debt, and we say, well, there are ways to get around that. No, make them pay. So I think that all the things that we say, that ultimate goal, if you walk them back and go step by step, every one of those steps is met with people like, do it yourself. Get your own health care. And I don't know if the
smaller
American
government.
dream is,
I mean, they want smaller government. So, and that's a fair, fiscally conservative thing to say. So we'll see what you think.
Yeah.
Well, a man who shot to fame because of his angry rant. Oh, Faye Izmir. You remember this guy? Well, he's now in the hospital. You may remember him. He became known as the angry bagel guy after this recording of his rant inside a New York bakery went viral. Well, now a new video was posted to his Twitter account. It shows him hooked up to a ventilator in a hospital bed. His manager shot the video after he had an apparent stroke outside a Long Island deli on Monday. There is also a GoFundMe page to support him through his recovery, but unfortunately, I think it's about $300.
You've pixelated out the names. You should have done that with the number as well. Like
it's about $380, and he's asking for $10,000. Why should you give money to him? He's an angry, mean man.
Am I the only one who feels bad for him?
Yes.
You're so nice, though.
No, I feel bad for him. He's like high-strung, like getting annoyed. New York is like a high-strung place. I understand.
Control yourself. Don't have a temper tantrum.
Oh, it's a Long Island connection.
And Tori, you said something funny when we were talking about it in the meeting earlier. Why is he always at the deli? It's just like a New York thing you do in the morning, like everybody goes to Starbucks in every other
state. But not everyone charges another man and pushes him to the ground.
Yeah.
Like he needed to control himself.
I think this is it's showing us what minute 16 of your fame looks like. I mean, I think if this happened even 2 months ago, you know, people would he probably could have got a GoFundMe going. Yeah. But now people are like, wait, who? Oh, that guy, and like
too fast.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but he just didn't realize he's going to get exploited because people don't ultimately care.
No, cry me a bagel.
Oh.
I could have thought of something better, right?
Good.
A judge yesterday handed down the longest sentence yet in the college admission scam. A former real estate exec from California got, get this, 6 months in prison, but he pled guilty to paying $450,000 to get his son and daughter into USC as fake athletic recruits. May I remind you that Lori Loughlin had $500,000 and also did recruiting, and she's not pleading guilty. So she could get way more than 6 months.
And on top of that, they both tried to use what they call the side door. It's like what you try and get your kid in to get it admitted in through athletic recruiting. So for his first daughter, they tried to make a fake profile saying she was a star soccer player. And then for the son, tried to say that he was a star basketball player. He was 5'5". Oh. 5'5".
Why wouldn't they do it like a smaller sport that
What are you saying? Wasn't Muggsy Bogues like 5'5"?
Yeah, you comparing this guy's kid to
Muggsy
Bogues. Straight Muggsy? Muggsy was 5'3", I think.
Yeah, he was tiny.
Yeah.
He was tiny.
But I mean, this is, and it's weird because the kids are, you know, are they still in school?
The daughter was on Dean's List at USC. I think she's out, but I don't know. I couldn't read about the son. They didn't have that on there.
Wow.
But he's too busy practicing.
Free Aunt Becky.
No, don't please. DBL is live, and coming up, it's one of America's most notorious prisons, the Supermax in Colorado. We got a first-hand account from a reporter who's actually been inside in today's True Crime Chronicles. And major girl power at the Country Music Awards when Reba, Dolly, and Carrie take center stage. All the highlights you might have missed when we come back.
This November, escape the winter with a luxury-included Caribbean vacation to Sandals Resorts. Watch Daily Blast Live every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL November 26th. Stop dreaming and start entering for your chance to win the trip of a lifetime. This November, DBL is better than ever.
We're going to go with that.
Don't miss a minute of Daily Blast Live.
Okay, all right.
Got you. Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the trending and breaking news. We do have breaking news coming in from California, Santa Clarita, California, to be exact. There has been a school shooting there. There are so many conflicting reports. I've been watching this for about an hour and a half, 2 hours now. Lots of conflicting reports coming in. We do know multiple people have been shot. No one dead at this point, as far as we know. As far as the suspect goes, at first he was at large. It was a male. Then they were saying he's dead, and now some people are saying he's in custody. These are coming from very reputable news sources, but again, too many conflicting reports for me to tell you exactly what's happening. What we do know is the suspect has been apprehended, at least. That we do know, and we do know that at least 3 people have been injured. It could be as many as 7. But again, I don't want to tell you wrong, so we're just going to say here at Daily Blast Live, multiple people have been injured there. Let's go to the desk and chat with our host.
Yeah, this is bothering me so
What's happening up here, guys?
My hair is bothering me.
Your hair.
Hairspray.
Yeah.
Where's Jess? But really, so Tony said,
Could you
who
grab
cares
a tray for just hairspray?
Yeah, okay, cool. Tony said, who cares if the president watched it or not? Just be happy that you had the opportunity to watch it. What do you feel about that? Tony said she thinks the president.
It's a major moment happening in DC in this generation, and you're not going to watch it, and you're the president, and it's about you. If I need to defend myself, I would watch every second.
But he's never going to get to the point where he has to defend himself.
He's never going to testify and be there.
But you still want to see.
You want to know what they're saying, don't you? So you can back it up.
Do you go in the comments and read them when they're negative?
I'm not the president, and I'm not getting impeached.
Do you guys go in your comments?
And also, I do go to my comments, and then I cry alone in the shower.
How come everyone's response to stuff is always, oh, well, you're the president. Oh, well, you're a professional athlete. Oh, well, you're on a TV show.
You are the president.
Why is it?
Because you should have stricter scrutiny and a higher standard. Because you're higher than
other
us.
people get to see stuff
president in the world?
Because they're not the president. DBL Nation, let us know your DBL take on this, and I will keep you updated on the shooting. Bye.
The Country Music Association Awards, I didn't know it said Association Awards, took over Nashville last night with host Carrie Underwood changing outfits multiple times. I think she looked fabulous, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Every year she's hosted since 2007. Well, this year, Dolly Parton and Reba McEntire took on co-hosting duties, and they didn't disappoint. Even though it was a night focused around celebrating women, Garth Brooks took home the coveted Entertainer of the Year award for a history-making 7th time. He's kissing Trisha Underwood right there. He's won the past 3 out of 4 years, leaving some fans furious over who he beat out. But the performance of the night, it made me cry, goes to Willie Nelson and Casey Musgraves. Please take a look. So if you didn't know, that's a Willie Nelson song. It makes me cry all the time. And he had pneumonia, so he was struggling to breathe. But you see a decline in his singing, and it was a little quite sad. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic award show. I'm sure you watched every minute.
I didn't watch, but it just that song connects me with my kids, so I definitely get your emotion with that. And I think we're kind of seeing it, not the same thing with Alex Trebek, but we're starting to see people that we've always kind of taken for granted. Like Willie's gonna do Willie. He's gonna be on his tour bus somewhere in some city playing his guitar, and I think we're kind of seeing in front of us that kind of come to an end, and it is sad.
Isn't it crazy? It's a Willie Nelson song.
I had no idea.
Isn't that crazy? He's a great composer.
Don't come to us.
Well, I was happy that Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus won.
You saw that on Twitter.
No, I didn't. Brandon researches his work by seeing Twitter comments and repeating them, regurgitating on air. Me, I look at real articles, BBC.
I appreciate your depth, but it's cool to see that.
I do appreciate the award show. I think it's important.
What award did Lil Nas X win?
Best performer of the decade.
I don't think that was it. Now, a great moment is when we saw Dolly Parton sing as well. You haven't seen them sing in a really long time. Dolly sang, listen at that. Look at that. She never gets old. And then Reba sang. Reba
Wait,
herself.
who did?
Reba.
There we go.
Reba. I love Reba. She sang as well. It's just an overall really, really good award show. And I thought Carrie Underwood, year after year, consistently carries it.
She's such a rock star. Even her, when she opens up the NFL, was it Monday Night Football?
Oh, she's so good.
She just is so good. And even if you don't listen to her music, it's still like, you know that she's a star. I just
sing a little bit. Monday Night Football.
That's not.
Someone just went, oh.
Exactly like that, yeah.
Hey. Coming up on DBL, we go inside the most secure prison in the world, the Supermax in Colorado, what it's really like in there. A reporter who's been inside sits down with us in a special True Crime Chronicles. Okay, so two things people are writing about. One, I didn't mean to be laughing at the man with the stroke. I do understand that's serious. I don't like the fact he's asking for money. I think someone that was violent and wants to be paid off of being violent isn't someone I'm gonna put my money for, and that's just my opinion. But I do, of course, wish him the best. I didn't mean to make fun of him, so I apologize for that. My mom's going through some similar issues with stroke, so I take it seriously, but I don't appreciate how he got famous, to be super honest. I'll be 100 with you. Number two, Kimberly says, Tori, Donald Trump puts his pants on the same as you every morning. He's no higher than any of us. We should all strive to be the best version of ourselves. When I mean higher, of course I don't mean I'm a peasant or a peon. What I mean really is the standard and scrutiny for behavior should be the highest at that level because he's been elected by everyone and that's the highest of power.
I completely agree. And I think
that's what I meant. I just hope that cleared it up.
We're in such a strange place, I think, with the president because when he does something that if you approve of what he's doing, then you go, he's the president. That's why we elected him. And that you're just mad that he's the president, he can make decisions. And it's like, okay, and then if he does something that you don't like, then or that other people don't like, then everybody goes, well, you know, he's just a regular guy like all.
Right, he has to be held up to a standard.
When you get on Air Force One,
right,
you get special privileges.
Right, exactly.
Stop it.
Okay. Welcome back to DBL. Hidden in the small town of Florence, Colorado, is a place so secluded and secure, it's considered the Alcatraz of the Rockies. ADX Florence is the highest security prison in the world, housing the most dangerous criminals. We have a look at the Supermax in this special edition of DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Lingering in the shadows of Colorado's Rocky Mountains lies the country's only federal Supermax prison. ADX Florence is closed off to the rest of the world. On the outside, armed security guards, gun towers, and cameras. On the inside, pure isolation. Inmates spend an average of 23 hours a day in a 7 by 12-foot concrete cell with a bed, desk, toilet, sink, and shower. Meals are slid through a small hole in the door. The only glimpse of the outside world is a tiny window. This prison was specifically designed to keep every inmate in solitary confinement. No one has escaped since it opened in 1994. The Supermax incarcerates criminals deemed too dangerous for the average prison, like the notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who was transferred in July after escaping 2 prisons in Mexico. Boston Marathon bomber Johar Tsarnaev, Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, and Oklahoma City bomber Terry Nichols are also incarcerated here. Of the 400 inmates, 1 was considered the most dangerous: Terrible Tommy Silverstein. He killed 3 inmates and a prison guard in jail before being transferred to the Supermax. Tommy spent more than 3 decades in solitary confinement before dying this year. The few who have been inside and made it out call the Supermax life after death. Others say it's a clean version of hell.
Earlier, co-hosts Sam, Jeff, and Al sat down with Alan Prendergast. He's a senior reporter at Westward Magazine in Denver to get his inside look at the Supermax.
Wow. We are joined now by Alan Prendergast, a senior reporter at Westward Magazine in Denver. Thank you for joining us. I can't imagine even stepping foot in that facility. Now, you've spent the past 30 years writing on high security prisons and historic crimes, and you were also one of the last reporters allowed at this Supermax prison. So everyone wants to know, what was it like inside? What's a typical day like? Please tell us.
It's a very disorienting experience. You go through a maze of locks, doors, sally ports, surveillance. The staff are in these control rooms with these panels of lights, sort of like the Starship Enterprise, and they're controlling remotely what's going on and intensely monitoring what is happening with the inmates, who are mostly just in their cells.
They never interact, ever. Would
Very
Ted
rarely.
Kaczynski interact with El Chapo ever?
The only way that would probably happen is during a recreation period, if they were both in different cages on the yard.
Near each other.
But most of the real high-profile ones tend to be even more isolated, so that they may not be allowed on the yard. Someone like Silverstein wouldn't have been allowed on the yard with other inmates. He would have been alone doing that. So,
chilling.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, you've written a lot about isolation cells, and actually read an article that said that because they've been in there for 23 hours a day, they start to see things. And you've, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You said that it's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Torture. Do you think that this would kind of violate our United States anti-torture laws because of like what they're being subjected to, even though they are despicable people?
Right. Well, there is a serious issue there. International rights organizations do consider that degree of isolation to be torture. I mean, it is debilitating. We have studies that show people that are isolated like that, they become very sensitive to noise and light. They sometimes become paranoid. They do hallucinate sometimes. If they already have some mental illness, and a lot of inmates do, it can be exacerbated by that. There are instances of suicide, mutilation, things like that. At what point does that become not a good thing? I mean, at state level, a lot of prisons are rethinking solitary, because if these people are going to get out someday, they've been very damaged by this. And some people in ADX, the Supermax, do get released at some point down the line. So you have to think about that in terms of public safety as well as whether you're being humane.
We just learned about terrible Tommy Silverstein, which a lot of people might not know about, and you wrote back and forth with him. You never interviewed him in person. Did he ever have any regrets at the end of his life? He just passed away this past year, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He was actually a very interesting guy. I mean, he's one of the reasons ADX was built, because these murders took place at another high security prison, but the security wasn't adequate enough to keep him further isolated. He particularly regretted he murdered a correctional officer at that prison. And over the years, he did really have, I think, a change of heart about some of the things that he did when he was an Aryan Brotherhood leader and thought was following the convict code about these things. He was a very thoughtful guy. I mean, he had done a lot of thinking and a lot of contemplation over the years. He was probably the most isolated prisoner in America for much of his career.
Wow, fascinating stuff. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here. You can read Alan's reporting on high-profile crimes and prisons at westward.com. Thank you again. We will be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Welcome back to DBL. Superstar duo Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon star in the new drama, The Morning Show. The Apple TV series gives an inside look at the cutthroat world of morning news while shining a light on the Me Too era. I caught up with Jennifer and Reese on what it's like to work together again after 20 years on this Chatting with the Stars. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast Live.
Thanks for having us.
Now, our boss used to executive produce Good Day LA for 17 years, and she says the morning show is beyond authentic.
Don't you ever question my integrity in my own house again.
So it begs the question, was there an inside source?
You know what, Erica, you'd think there was, but I gotta tell you, I think our writer is just a little bit psychic. Because honestly, we stopped filming in May. stuff has come out in the last couple of months with Ronan's book.
But I will say that she did a ton of research of things that were already in the news. So there's a lot of very topical stuff.
But Reese, I have to ask you, I recently binged your talk show, Shine On, and tweeted you gratitude for this template on bravery.
Thank you.
Yes, telling women that the waters will be unpredictable, but worth it. Then you gift us with the role of Bradley Jackson. Now, if Bradley was a real person, why would she be so important in today's climate?
I think it's really this question of what is journalism and why is the press important? And we're seeing that every day play out on the news. When news outlets are really struggling to find the truth in all the noise and also being really taken to task over their politics and the way that they're treating men and women inside of their own industries.
Right. I really appreciate Bradley because she would fit in so well on our panel at Daily Blast Live. Just the idea of just that true confidence of truth telling and point of view. I'm obsessed with it. Now, Jennifer, viewers saw the Me Too era unfold in real time, so we feel like we're a part of it, and we trust you to take us through, and we believe you so much in this role. When filming, how many decisions were based upon news reports versus your artistic vision?
I mean, I think it was a melding of the two. The adrenaline was incredible, and it was also, I thought, written so beautifully, and I did feel, after watching God knows how many moments of this on actual television as we were watching it, happen live, and also feel the pain of this person and the loss that they're experiencing in a small window of time that they have to digest the news, write out what they're going to say to America, and also to have to compartmentalize their own emotions about it. It was quite a task.
Now, you both played sisters on Friends almost 20 years ago. What took so long to work together again?
Waiting for the right thing to come
also,
along.
I don't know if you noticed, they didn't make a whole lot of movies with two girls.
Yes, that's so true.
Two women in them. So it took time for women to get to a place where we got to produce our own material with a lot of frequency and the budgets we need to bring a story like this to life.
Yeah.
This just wouldn't have been possible 7 years ago.
Well, we appreciate the reunion. Thank you so much, Jennifer and Reese. Thank you. We'll be right back. Today's Sandals word of the day is destination.
We all tried to guess what the word of the day is, and no one got destination. Anywho, welcome back to DBL. We actually want to show you some incredible video before we go. Now, I have a huge fear of whales, and I love whales, but I cannot watch or say read. So I'm going to have Al read this copy.
All right, I got you, Tori. It's a real phobia,
thing.
Not to be laughed at.
Thank you.
Check out this gray whale swimming toward and eventually under a group of surfers. This happened off the coast of California. The moment was caught by a teenager who saw the whale spout while he was watching waves from a cliff. He ran to grab his drone and ended up capturing the amazing moment.
Is it over?
Yeah. No,
it's not.
Now it's over.
Okay.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Was it cool?
Yeah,
was it good?
Great.
Yeah.
Was it good? I feel like Al's making
It's over. No, it's over, Tori. It's over.
Okay.
We're gonna season 5. We're gonna get you over this.
Well, if you guys don't know, we dove with sharks to get it over with. It seems to not have worked.
Well, you did. You got in the water.
I got in the water.
So shout out
We'll
to
see you
Tori.
same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.